Good morning, everyone. I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir. Morning, ma'am. I'm audible.
Yes, Priya, you are audible.
A very good morning to one and all. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. G. Baiju, Director, ICS, CTI, Central Tuber, Crop Research Institute, Trivandrum, Kerala, and our Honorable Director, NIFTEM Thanjavur, Dr. V. Palanimuthu, sir, distinguished guest and speaker for technical session. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and pleasant morning to all of all. With immense pleasure, I would like to share that today's webinar is on tuber crop processing and value addition, has been organized under the banner of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, promoting Atmanirbhar Bharat as a part of PMFME scheme. Now I would like to invite Dr. V. S. Sinija ma'am, Professor and Head of and PMFME Coordinator of NIFTEM Thanjavur, for the welcome address.
Thank you, Priya. Most respected Chief Guest for today's inaugural session, Dr. G. Baiju, Director, ICAR Central Tuber Crop Research Institute, Thiruvananthapuram, and our beloved Director of NIFTEM Thanjavur, Dr. V. Palanimuthu sir, eminent speakers from various institutions, industries, and participants from across the country, and dear colleagues and students, good morning to all. So this is the 20th webinar we are hosting under this PMFME scheme. And as we all aware, this PMFME scheme is implemented in the year 2021 by Ministry of Food Processing Industries to upgrade the micro food processing enterprises scattered in our country, which is contributing more than 23% of the processed food in our country. And in this scheme, capacity building is an inevitable part. And we are like NIFTEM Thanjavur and NIFTEM Kundali, the institutes under ministry is playing as the nodal institutes for this capacity building activities. And under this capacity building, we are hosting this 20th webinar. And we are very happy today to be with us, an apt person for inaugurating this webinar, our chief guest, the director of Central Tuber Crop Research Institute, Dr. G. Baiju sir. Though sir is having some other meetings and schedules today, sir accepted our invitation to be the chief guest for today's function. Thank you very much, sir. And on behalf of our director and the entire NIFTEM family, and on behalf of the participants, extended a heartfelt welcome to you, sir, for this inaugural session.
Thank you.
And next, I would like to welcome our beloved director, sir. Sir is always motivating and supporting us for organizing all such programs. So, on behalf of everyone, I welcome you, sir, for this inaugural session. Next, I would like to welcome our eminent speakers from national institutions, organizations, and industries for agreeing to deliver their insights for the benefit of our participants and being a part of this webinar today. So welcome all the speakers. And then actually these webinars, it won't happen without the participation of you people. So the participants, you are the most important for hosting such seminars. So on behalf of director and entire NIFTEM staff, I welcome you all for this webinar session, and also I welcome my colleagues, staffs of PMFME, PMU unit, and all the students for this webinar. Welcoming you all for today's webinar. Hope that this seminar will benefit the entire participants for upgrading their enterprises or enriching their knowledge in this tuber crop processing and value addition. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now would like to introduce our Honorable Director, Dr. V. Palanimuthu, sir, to you all. Sir obtained his Bachelor's in Engineering and Agriculture Engineering from Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, and MTech and PhD from IIT Kharagpur. He has also a postdoctoral training at McGill University, Canada. He specializes in post-harvest processing and food engineering. His research area includes designing and development of new agro-processing machinery and post-harvest processing of agro-produce. As a scheme head of ICR, AICRP, Post-Harvest Engineering and Technology, he created well-equipped laboratories for food product development, food analysis, dry processing, wet including fruits and vegetables, milk, honey, and processing. Sir has a patent on a process for manufacture of enriched instant rice, developed 16 prototypes, machineries, gadgets that are commercialized through NRCDC by the UAS and developed 9 value-added product technologies that are recommended for the commercialization. As a head AICRP PHET Bangalore, he received the Best Center Award during the year of 2018 to 19 from ICR and many more awards. May I invite Dr. Memento sir for a presidential address, please.
Very good morning to all of you. We have our chief guest, respected director, Dr. Baiju sir, from Central Tuber Crops Research Institute, Trivandrum, Thiruvananthapuram, because I normally tell Thiruvananthapuram only. I visited 2-3 times that center because we have an agri center on post-harvest engineering and technology in CTCRI. I was most of the time ICR man till last 1 month. 1 month I'm here in NIFTEM. We have on the in the program webinar eminent speakers and my own colleagues, Dr. Sinija, Dr. Mahendran, Chidanan. I could see many more, maybe Anand Kumar. They're all a resource person as well as PMFE scheme staff who are there on the online, and we have a lot of enthusiastic participants of this seminar, and the speakers probably will join as and when their turn comes. And I could see from the list there are really very good speakers from various walks of life. We have from Dr. Arul Das from business school, Jnana Business School. We have somebody from Uti, founder director of Natural. I could not read it because I didn't wear the specs. Brahmi or something like that. Private Limited. We have other Dr. Radhakrishnan, managing director. There are many really interesting group of speakers. And Dr. Senthil from manager technical SB from a bank also. And we have Priyan from the scientist head from Uti. So, of course, we have our own various heads. I have to mention here my very beloved friend, Dr. Sajid. We were together from IIT days, and he was all along in ASRP PhD from Dr. Nanda. Then we have Dr. Tajuddin Sharif. All these people worked in that scheme for, I've worked nearly about 23 years in that scheme. So I know CTCRI, their work, everything on tuber crops. That was an opportunity given when you were in a PhD scheme. Now, I really very happy that this is the 20th program of this PMFE scheme with a very big aims. Now, our Honorable Prime Minister really started this program, that scheme, with about 10,000 crores, if I remember correctly, for PMFE scheme. In that, there are ODOP is one of the mainstay where they wanted to promote the many products which are really not in the formal economy. That is the real motive. We have some upward of 20-25 lakh units, informal processing units. They tried to bring in at least a part of it, maybe about 2 to 3 lakh units in the formal economy. We have wonderful products in this country from various agro produce. Tuber crops today, what we are dealing today. Tuber crops, majorly, all of you know, and some of you may not know also. The mainstay of southern states, especially Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And the cassava is the staple food for Kerala people. I am also from a very near to Kerala border in Pollachi, that Coimbatore district, which is adjacent to Kerala. So we also produce, grow this cassava, but we don't eat it. We eat for just like a snack. Otherwise, not a regular diet, but it all goes to Kerala as a regular food, or it comes to Salem for making sago. That industry actually has grown very big in Salem and Namakkal, that area. And I'm aware that CTCRI, and they have done wonderful work. They developed a lot of machinery, technologies, in tuber crops. And not only cassava, of course, there is a sweet potato. When I visited, I found so many types of tuber crops in that were on display and grown in CTCR. That director probably will throw light on you about various crops, varieties, about them. And Dr. Sajeev, anyway, is a speaker, and he has done a lot of work on developing starch-based edible films. And that because I know him very well from student days. He's just a couple of years junior to me now. I had Kadapur, and I have seen from there, and we are very good friends. Often we are very regular contact. And I welcome our director. In spite of his busy schedule, he has come here. I just called over phone. Whenever I called, he was in meeting in Hyderabad. Or yesterday also we are worried, because there was no intimation by mail or WhatsApp. I was worried. Now, I wanted you, sir, to be in this inaugural program, and that is it is an honor to us. And of course, we have Sajeev. Maybe he's a latecomer. Is Sajeev going to come? Sajeev, we'll talk to you later. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation. There are a few more. I'm not going to talk about tuber crops because there are a lot of good number of people who know a lot more about tuber crops. Even though I have a one-page sheet to talk about this program about tuber crops, it will not be nice when if I talk in front of the director CTCRI or the scientists working in that line. Now, I wish that this program will be a great success, and it will be really beneficial, and it has its goals, because we are doing only a part of the work of PMFE is handholding and conducting this human resource development by webinars and other training programs. And our PMFE scheme is doing really very well, and various types of subjects they were given already. And in fact, I was also a speaker earlier before I came to NIFTEM Thanjavur. I was speaker in many of these programs, and I am very happy. And I congratulate our team headed by our Dr. Sinija. Incidentally, she also from IIT Kharagpur, and same guide, and during her PhD or MTech. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity. And it is you can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for motivate us. Now, may I invite today's program our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. G. Vaidis, sir. I would quickly introduce you all to the sir. He holds a degree in MSc Agriculture and PhD as well. He is a soil scientist specialized in site-specific nutrient management and abiotic stress in tuber crops. He developed SSNM recommendation for 7 crops using modified QUEFSTS models and formulated and popularized zone-specific secondary and micronutrient inclusive customized fertilizers for 6 crops by conducting more than 400 validation trials across 12 states. He developed climate-smart agriculture for cassava and yams and validated 5 modules for climate change modeling studies and 5 technologies of multi-micronutrient formulation for tuber crops were developed and commercialized through AgroInnovate. He published 115 referred journals articles, 93 conference presentations, 3 books, 13 book chapters, 26 technical bulletins, 36 technical leaflets, and 170 popular articles. He is a leader and member of many state-level policy-making bodies and programs, including Flood Loss Assessment 2018, member of Board of Studies and Academic Council of Kerala Agriculture University, and many more. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and being with us in the program. The session is over to you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning. Most respected Dr. V. Palanimuthu sir, Director, NIFTEM, Thanjavur, Dr. Sinija, Professor and Head, FPBIC, Dr. Chidanand will be proposing the vote of thanks. Other distinguished scientists from NIFTEM, staff of NIFTEM, invited speakers who will be speaking about the value addition of tuber crops in the forthcoming session, especially my very dear friend Dr. Sajeev and dear participants. The director, Dr. Palanimuthu sir, actually, as he mentioned, contacted me about 2-3 weeks ago. Immediately after assuming charge, so he has sent an email about his joining the institute. And since then, I have been having some contact with him. And sir has contacted me over phone. So whenever, as he told, whenever sir was calling me, I was on move. And that is why I could not actually give a written confirmation reply, even though I have planned in my mind that I will be definitely attending. So yesterday evening, when I was on the way back from Nagarkovil after a meeting, sir called and immediately I replied in the email that definitely I will be participating. Actually, our Dr. Mr. Lalitaditya Neelam, the MD of Sagosar, is right now in CTCRI, and his program was also scheduled at 10 a.m. So I have requested him to be in guest house for another 20-30 minutes, and we'll be having a whole day, one-day discussion about a number of programs that we are having with Sagosar in Salem. So with this few introduction, I first of all take this opportunity to invite me for inaugurating this very important webinar on tuber crops processing and value addition. As the respected director has very rightly mentioned, tuber crops are a very important group of crops, we all know. CTCRI is working on tropical tuber crops, about 15 crops we have mandated, even though the most important ones are cassava or tapioca, sweet potato, taro, elephant foot yam, yams and all, but we work on a group of 15 crops. And all these crops, compared to many other crops in the era of climate change, have been gaining a lot of greater importance, because these crops have got very high biological efficiency, or their ability to produce the food energy from unit area of land in unit time is very high compared to most of the other crops, especially cassava, sweet potato and all. It is higher than rice, potato, wheat, etc. And in my own study and also many other studies conducted across the globe show that many of these crops, cassava, yams, even sweet potato, many of these crops are resilient to many of the climate vagaries, especially drought, elevated heat, salinity. So all these different climate vagaries, these crops are better resilient. They perform better compared to our staple food crops, and because of that, they are gaining a lot of importance, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia, along the both sides of the equator, where the economically poor and weaker sections of the people live across the globe. And these crops, especially cassava and yams, are the main source of food for more than 1,000 million or 1 billion population across the globe. That's a very important aspect. And third point, these crops are getting more importance nowadays is especially in the Indian situation, as the director told, in southern India, they are very important crops. And most of the time, farmers are very small farmers. Out of the 14 crores of farm holdings in our country, about 66 or almost 70% are marginal farmers. So that again is a problem, and making the small farms profitable is a challenge. And in this respect also, this webinar assumes greater importance. And what I wanted to say is that in these small farms, farmers generally grow crops not as a monocrop, but as a system, in a system perspective. And these crops are ideally suited to most of the cropping and farming systems that are prevalent in the growing areas in southern India, as well as in eastern India, northeast India and all. All these crops are ideal candidate crops for sustainable production intensification. So that is also a very important aspect, and CTCRI has been developing a lot of very popular cropping system models, farming system models. Throughout the India, we have developed, we have popularized. Farmers are practicing it so that even if one crop fails due to the climate change or climate vagaries, some other crop, especially the tuber crops, will give some remuneration to the farmers so that they will not be at a complete economic loss. And the fourth most important aspect is they are multi-purpose crops, as our respected director told. There are many crops are not like that. They are food for humans, they are feed for animals, and also they have a lot of other industrial applications for the development of many products. So these four very important in the coming years and in the era of climate change. So we all know that Indian agriculture is a very vibrant sector. The growth rate is very high. Even after the COVID, we are having a very good growth rate in the field of agriculture. And it contributes to about 19% of the total GDP of our country. That's a very important aspect. And we know that our food grain production is more than 330 million tons. In addition to that, we have more than 340 million tons of horticultural production. So we are number one in many crops, especially fruits and vegetables. Our production is globally number one. And we are number two in the case of rice wheat production. We are exporting rice. So over the last 50, 60 years, right from 1950, our country has changed from a begging bowl to a country where we are self-sufficient in food production, as well as now we export a number of crops. But if you see the area under cultivation, the gross cropped area or the net cropped area, it has not changed much. So definitely the technology, the interventions of scientists and the technological advancements have helped a lot in improving the productivity and making our country self-sustainable. Now coming to the topic of today's webinar on tuber crops processing and value addition, we must see that the route our food takes from farm to plate, if you see the last 2-3 generations, it has undergone a sea of change. So the food habits of the new generation is not as that of the food habit of me or my earlier generation. The same food, the same item, if we convert it into a different format, my children or my grandchild will relish even tapioca if it is converted into the form of a pasta or pizza. Same thing, but they will take. But if I am given time, I may not be relishing that one, but I like the traditional food, boiled tapioca and the little fish curry. So according to the changing the food habit of the generation, we have to develop new technologies so that not only the farmers get benefited, and also, as I told, since about more than 60% of the farms are small and marginal farms, we need to develop value addition and processing technologies so that the farmers' income and the small enterprise income will be enhanced. And among these tropical tuber crops, as our director told, the most important one, definitely, naturally, it is cassava or tapioca. It's a very important crop globally, even though it is not so important in our country, but globally it is a very important crop. And from about 30 million hectares, globally, we produce 300 million tons of tapioca, 300 million tons. That is almost 50% of the total rice production or wheat production in the globe. So half of rice or wheat production, that much quantity of cassava or tapioca is produced globally. And if you see the last 60 years data of our country from 1961 to 2021, FAO statistics, if you see, we can see that in India, the productivity has gone 3 to 4 times higher. In globally, it has not gone that much, from 7 tons to 10 tons only. Global productivity has increased, while in India, the per hectare productivity has increased from 7 tons per hectare, and this year it is almost 39 tons per hectare. We are the number one in the world with respect to productivity, 39 tons from 1 hectare. That is a very substantial increase in productivity that has happened definitely due to the intervention of mostly Central Tuber Crops Research Institute in developing about 21 cassava varieties we have developed. So as soon as one variety gets degraded due to the incidence of pests and disease, we popularize a newer variety. And similarly, we are supporting the farmers. And very recently, we have developed very good varieties against cassava mosaic disease. That is one of the major global threats that tapioca is facing, a virus disease, cassava mosaic disease. So we have released 3-4 varieties, and of which Sri Raksha is one of the very popular variety, and Sri Kaveri, that is for the areas of Tamil Nadu, industrial areas, we have developed, and it is getting very popular. So along with this varietal development, CTCRI also has developed production practices, as I told, customized fertilizers, irrigation, drip micro irrigation methods, drip fertigation methods, then all kind of things, organic farming practices, sustainable production, cropping system, farming system models that are suited to different agroecological regions or agroclimatic zones. So one model may not fit into another area where farmers' interest will be different. So similarly, we have developed and we have translated the technology into all the 13 out of the 15 agroclimatic zones in our country where tuber crops are cultivated. So with this background information, I will come to the today's webinar on tuber crops processing and value addition. It is a very important aspect. As your institute is more into this value addition, and CTCRI is also, as director told, is a well-known a national institute where the processing and value addition of tuber crops, especially under the leadership of Dr. Sajeev, as director told, is our former very senior people like Dr. Nandaji, Dr. Balagopal, Dr. Patmaja, Dr. Sharif. So all these stalwart scientists have contributed very immeasurably. They have done to the development of value-added products from tapioca and all other tuber crops. We have a very good techno incubation center, and we have a number of mega programs by government of Kerala, many other state governments, and also in our regional station in Bhubaneswar also we have a techno incubation center that is being funded by, hugely funded by many programs from central government, Ministry of Odisha government and all. So with this blend of CTCRI's knowledge as well as the NIFTEM's food processing, they are the national pioneers in this field. I am very sure that today's ODOP webinar on tuber crops processing and value addition will definitely benefit all the participants who are in this webinar. And again, once again, I wish the webinar all the success. I again thank the respected director, Dr. Palanimuthu sir, for inviting me to inaugurate this seminar. And with this, I declare that the webinar is inaugurated. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a kind words and inspiring us. Now I request Director Sir to kindly facilitate the sir that memento of token as a gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, this will be sent to you. Thank you very much for coming and accepting our invitation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, because
Thank
it
you.
was contributed a lot for tuber crop research institute in our own field. In our village, we cultivate tapioca. That's why I'm really grateful for CTCRI. And Sajeev is my close friend. Tajuddin is a very close friend. Nanda and Sajuddin, both are no more, and they are extremely close friends. And Sajeev knows that. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Dr. D.V. Chidanand, sir, Assistant Professor and Head in Charge in Academic in NIFTEM Thanjavur, for a formal vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. G. Baiju Sir, Director ICR CTCRI Trivandrum, and Dr. V. Palanimuthu Sir, Director NIFTEM Thanjavur, and then Deans of NIFTEM Thanjavur, resource persons, faculties, and participants. Good morning to all. I deem it a great privilege to extend vote of thanks in this webinar. On behalf of NIFTEM Thanjavur family, I sincerely thank to our chief guest, Dr. G. Baiju Sir, Director ICR CTCRI Trivandrum, who has made his gracious presence for today's program in spite of his busy schedule. So once again, thank you, sir. I would like to thank our beloved Director Sir, Dr. V. Palanimuthu Sir, for his continuous support for organizing this webinar in a fruitful manner. And also, I would like to thank all deans and register for NIFTEM Thanjavur for helping for organizing this program. And also, I would like to thank all resource persons. They are going to deliver valuable inputs for this webinar. And then I would like to thank all the participants from all over India for participating in this program. And also I thank all head of the departments, faculties, staffs, then PMFME team, computer center team for their support. Once again, thanks one and all present in this program. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we are proceeding towards our first technical session, that is overall scenario of tuber crops production and processing in India. For dear participants, if you have any question, you can write in a chat box or simply raise your hand, or we will bring the question after the end of the session. Now, without further delay, we will proceed to our first technical session on tuber crops processing and value addition. For this session, we have with us Dr. M.S. Sajeev, sir, Principal Scientist, ICAR CTCRI Kerala, will be delivering the overall session for overall scenario of tuber crops production and processing in India. He is the session chair for today's session and will be delivering the special address. Before starting the session, I would like to introduce sir to you. He holds a PhD degree in agri-processing engineering and MTech in post-harvest engineering. His area of interest is agriculture processing engineering, post-harvest machinery, value addition of tuber crops or food products, starch-based films and composites, texture and rheology of tropical tubers and starches, extrusion technology, thermoplastic charges for biodegradable articles. The research works have been developed as a technologies in more than 60 and more than 50 international conference proceedings. He completed 9 institute projects as a principal investigator and 9 institute projects completed as co-investigator. He handled institute projects, the development of thermoplastic cassava starch, composite, biodegradable films and foam type packaging products, and the development of cassava starch adhesive formulation for corrugating and paper industry. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sajeev, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you for the nice words, and we still keep the personal relations. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
You people have done wonderful work in tuber crops. I should remember Dr. Nandaji as well as Sherif. Of course, Padmaja madam also. They have done very good work. I think with you and our Krishna Kumar is with you, no?
Yeah, Krishnamar is here. Yeah. We two are here now.
Very nice. I will be not in the meeting. You go
Yeah.
ahead. Thank you very much, Sajeev.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, friends, so first of all, I am very happy that we have a lot of people. I think more than it was 200 and now it has become 178. Anyway, it is a good number. And they are really happy that NIFTEM Thanjavur is organizing a seminar which we used to organize regularly. Now our ODIP is that during that COVID period, it was flourishing like anything, online seminars. And we also organized a lot of seminars on tuber crop processing, both in national level and local level also. So anyway, it is very good number. And I thank Dr. Palamut sir and Dr. Sinija, he is a very good friend of me, for inviting me to this wonderful lecture. But unfortunately, as our director told that we have some other meetings also, it is about to start. Then I told that I will join after my presentation, because that is also more equally important for us, because we have a lot of collaborative research project with Sago sir, when the PMD is first time visiting our institute. So you know that when a person who is sponsoring a lot of projects visiting our institute, we should be able to project ourselves. So we have to leave after my presentation. Sorry for that. Otherwise, I could have been benefited with the other talks also. Anyway, let me see that in between, if I can join, I will come back. Anyway, so I think I will share my slides, because we have a lot of speakers in line and our time is also very less. So instead of giving a lot of introduction, I think I need not tell a lot introduction about the tuberculosis. Already director has already mentioned, so I can directly go to the presentation, that value addition, what are the prospects of value addition in our country and how best we can go ahead with the tuber crop processing and what is the scope of tuber crops for starting a micro or small scale industries as envisaged in these PMFME schemes. So we know that this cassava or tuber crops, it find a place in two states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Especially in Tamil Nadu, Salem, it is tapioca, and Kerala, Trivandrum and Kollam under ODOP one district one product scheme. These tuber crops find a place in Kollam and Thiruvananthapuram. So apart from that, also if somebody is wanted to give a project, they can get the fund from the PMFME schemes. That I think Dr. Sineja will be talking more about that schemes. What are the crops involved and other funding and other details she will be talking about. So I'll just go to my slides. I will share my slides.